RGB Filter. We're here with Emily Horne and Joey Comeau, and creators of A Softer World, which is an interesting webcomic. And so you wanted to tell us a little bit about the strip?
Well, we're unusual in that we're a photo comic. So all of our work is done with photographs on usually 3, sometimes 6 panels. Each comic stands on its own. We don't have long storylines.
She always takes the photos and I always write the text. The order is different. Sometimes I write a joke first and then she'll illustrate it with photos, and sometimes she'll take photos and put them together and I'll come up with text that goes with it.
Do you ever get either one of you, does he give you some text and you're like, how the hell am I going to find pictures to work with that, and vice versa?
Sometimes, yeah. What ends up happening a lot of the time is the link between the photos and the text is not always literal. Often it's very much not. So if it's something that I definitely don't have a sort of literal photograph of, that kind of situation, I really try and match them up in terms of mood.
Your work is very, very haiku, very poetic, and obviously that comes from the nature of the way your process, right?
I feel like a lot of that also comes from our fairly strict 3-panel structure. It requires a huge economy of words. I don't know if you want to address that a bit more.
Well, and I mean, it's not always a joke in the way that it's funny, but it's usually a joke in the setup, where it's like a setup, and then a twist, or several twists. And doing something that structural in a small amount of space is going to seem. It's going to seem like haiku-ish, which is also constraint.
We're not trying overtly to be poetic. It's just something, it's the style that we have come to over the years, basically.
You found success on the web, and that seems to be, for some people, a very good way of finding success. For other people, it's very challenging. You've been online for quite some time now. Can you talk a little bit about how in the beginning you found that success and the challenges of being on the internet and, standing out in the sea of other webcomics?
Right. It was a very, very gradual process for us. I know that we have seen since then people who've come into webcomics and gotten incredibly popular very quickly, but it really didn't happen to us that way. It's taken us a long, sort of gradual, slow increasing of audience. Kind of every year it gets a little bit more and a little bit more. We certainly have benefited from some associations with or links from high-profile people. Like the first one we ever got was Warren Ellis linked us very early on, right in the first year.
Okay, I see that you have some written novels here.
Well, we started doing the comic in 2003. My first book, Lockpick, came out in 2005, and then since then I've had a book a year, sometimes 2 books in a year.
Overqualified is an interesting thing to note, because that actually began as a feature on our website. So every few weeks Joey would put up a new fake cover letter in which he says the kind of things that people always want to say in cover letters.
Cuss words.
Cuss words, exactly.
My new one is a horror book that started on the website as well, where Emily took photos to illustrate the chapters, and babies got eaten. Little ones. That's actually the thing that I've gotten the most hate mail about, because pregnant women would send me hate mail about the baby being eaten. And I don't know why pregnant women are reading horror novels if they're that sensitive.
I just noticed, is that a 3-panel?
Oh, yeah. When the first book came out, we'd been doing the comic for 5 years, I think. Or we'd been doing it for a few years, and the book came out, and so I was like, I'll celebrate, I'll get a tattoo of the panels of the comic. And then I was like, oh, and Emily can get it too. And Emily was like, I don't know. I don't even like that comic.
I wasn't into it.
I'm going to get a tattoo of a horse instead.
If people haven't checked it out, comic is online where?
Softerworld.com.
And thank you very much for talking to us.